Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 30th of March and we are going to deal with three very important topics which are in news. The government e-marketplace portal. Now imagine a time when the Netajis used to give contract to their near and dear ones. The contract amount was also very high, exorbitant it was, and the payments were not timely. So the government came up with an idea in 2016 and established this GEM portal for government procurement. Not only the central government but the state governments also use this portal for procuring their goods and services from the vendors. Now procurement by the government by using GEM portal has crossed 4 trillion rupees mark. It was projected to cross 3 trillion, but yes, we are ahead of the projections. It has not only enabled ease of doing business for the government, but has also saved the government around 6,000 crore rupees till now. It has also benefited the sellers because timely payments are done, effective procurement is done for the government. Next is UNSC resolution on ceasefire between Gaza and Israel. Finally, this resolution has been adopted and UNSC resolutions are binding in nature. They are prescriptive in nature. A major development over here is that USA has abstained from voting on this particular resolution. Is this the first time US has done so? No, this is not the first time. Barack Obama administration in 2016 also, abstained from voting on a UNSC resolution pertaining to Israel and Palestine. This has been done by USA because there are certain sections of the society in USA which are supporting the Palestinians. So elections are coming up. That needs to be addressed. Second reason is that some Arab friends of the USA which are in support of Palestine have also to be addressed. Next is the C-VIGIL app. The C-VIGIL app is again a very classical example of our digital public infrastructure. The Election Commission of India has launched this application on the day elections were announced in the country. The C-VIGIL app is for the citizens to post pictures, videos, audios in and around them of model code of conduct violations. And the C-VIGIL app, since the date of announcement of elections, till now have received around 79,000 complaints and 99% of them have been resolved, and most of them have been resolved in the 100-minute time period. So this is basically aiming effective resolution to the complaints. So let's get started with the first topic, that is the government e-marketplace portal. Now, government needs to procure a lot of goods and services. It is not like every good and service is manufactured by the government. So the private, sellers or vendors, they provide those goods or services to the government. Let's suppose in a ministry stationery is needed, or in any government office stationery is needed. So government is not manufacturing its stationery, it has to procure. And earlier what used to happen, the Netajis and their relatives and all near and dear ones, they used to become vendors to supply these kind of goods and services to the government. And they used to charge, the government used to give them heavy amounts. Although the payments were delayed, but in many cases the payments were timely also, because if that near and dear one is too near and dear one of the minister or the person in authority, payments were also released on time, and that too increased payments. So that caused a lot of loss to the exchequer. And for that purpose, government e-marketplace, that is GEM portal, was designed for end-to-end procurement for the government. And, this is basically not only for the central government, but also for the state government. And why this is in news? This is in news because the procurement from this GEM portal has crossed rupees 4 trillion this fiscal. 4 trillion simply means 4 lakh crore rupees. However, if I tell you the projection, it was around 3 lakh crore or 3 trillion rupees. But, it has gone beyond those projections or beyond those expectations. And this is something which is good because this portal is bringing in transparency, efficiency, timeliness. It is also promoting, or it is also facilitating ease of doing business. So that is why it is, remarkable. Now about this GEM, it facilitates end-to-end procurement of goods and services by various central and state government departments, organizations and allied PSUs. It provides paperless, cashless and contactless ecosystem because all the payments and all are settled in the bank accounts. Timely payment settlement is also a remarkable feature of this portal, which earlier was not there. So people used to refrain from providing any goods or services to the government, or you should have contacts in the government. Then timely payments will be released. It was assured that payment will come, but sarkari payments, they will take their own time. This was the notion. But now with GEM into place, this is not the notion. Now, status of public procurement. The government procurement in India comprises nearly 20 to 25% of GDP of the country. This much amount government is procuring, 4 trillion rupees. In this context, the importance of efficient public procurement cannot be overstated. So it is in itself a very substantial amount, and that level of, I would say, amount, efficiency definitely needs to be there. Now, GEM has this portal of inclusive development, corruption-free governance, ease of doing business, and it is doing that because it has saved around 60,000 crore for the government. Because earlier, now on this GEM, what happens is, for a particular product, let's suppose a pen, okay, multiple vendors will be there, and whoever will be proposing the best price for that particular product, government will go for procuring from that person. And if the government does not go for procuring from that particular person, then the government will have to be answerable that why did you not go for procuring pens from that vendor who is selling it at the cheapest price. So accountability has also increased for the government. Apart from it, money has been saved. That is there. Now, GEM was conceptualized in 2016 as a special purpose vehicle under Section 8 of Companies Act under Department of Commerce it is. So this is some factual information which you should be knowing. Now the growth trajectory of GEM. This is very interesting. Since 2016, in the first year, procurement worth rupees 420 crore rupees was initiated on this portal. Second year, 38,000 crore. Third year, 1 lakh crore. Fourth year, that is FY 22-23, 2 lakh crore, and it was projected to be around 3 lakh crore for 23-24, but this has been 4 lakh crore or 4 trillion. And that is why we are studying this. So it is like that. Now, how is this GEM portal promoting ease of doing business? Because we've mentioned multiple times about this, GEM portal promoting ease of doing business. It is acting like a facilitator for businesses. Transformation through cost reduction and efficiency. So cost reduction for government also is happening because it has to procure the cheapest products which are listed over there. Inclusive empowerment of sellers. So now any seller can sell it over there. Those sellers who are offering the best prices, definitely their products will be procured. Seamless registration process is there. Dynamic goods and services platform it is. It is kind of an Amazon or Flipkart for the government. So government wants to do any shopping obviously for its day-to-day utilities and all, it goes to this GEM portal and shops. Diverse buying modes are there. Direct purchase, bidding, reverse and forward auction, etc. also are possible over there. Contract management. So, the contract and all will also be created over there, and, the sellers will have to abide by the contracts. Cashless payments and timely transactions. This timely transactions has obviously enabled ease of life of people also, because people don't have to wait for too long. Then information visibility. Who is selling at what price? Is someone else selling at lower price than this? That is all information visibility will be there. Trust-based rating system. So sellers can be rated also. Demand forecasting. So government, forecasting for the government can be done. Acha, in the coming year, this much requirement will be there according to the activities happening. So this forecasting can be there according to which the government can plan its procurement. Then establishing price reasonability. Since, we can compare among multiple sellers. Training. Communication and support. Responsive contact center is there. Dispute resolution features. If any seller has any dispute or a government has a dispute, then that resolution center is also there. Remember, contract is there. So it is there. Then GEM Sahay. This is a very, I would say, next level feature. It provides loans to the sellers. If a seller is shortlisted for providing any goods or services and the seller needs loans to provide goods and services at that scale, which he is not able to do so right now. So that person can take loan also from GEM Sahay. That is remarkable. Obviously, banks and all are listed over there. Then next gen GEM platform it is. Basically, we are also making it ready for the next generation. Means constant updates are there. Now, GEM has become one of the foremost public procurement platforms globally. This is not the first public procurement platform globally. No, but now it has become the biggest one in terms of transactions happening. South Korea's Koneps and Singapore's GBiz. Now, our GEM has surpassed these two portals, and that is something which is remarkable. Another, I would say, example of our digital public infrastructure it is. Now, the next is United Nations Security Council resolution on ceasefire between Gaza and Israel. Now, this conflict started in October. It is still ongoing. It is believed that, number of Israelis which have been killed in this particular conflict is more or is the most after this, Holocaust which happened in the 1930s and 40s in Europe. So Israel is like, I'm not going to leave Gaza. I'm going to wipe off the Hamas, and that will act as a deterrence so that I don't have to face this kind of situation in the future. This is what Israel has been thinking, and this has been reiterated many a times by the Israeli Prime Minister, Mr. Netanyahu. Multiple, resolutions have been adopted for ceasefire in the United Nations General Assembly earlier. But United Nations General Assembly resolutions are not binding on the parties. The United Nations Security Council resolutions are binding on the parties. But up to what extent they are binding, we will see in this particular topic. But one more important thing which we need to see in this topic is that USA, which is considered to be an all-time ally of Israel, has abstained from voting on this particular vote, on this particular resolution. Abstained means neither it voted in favor nor it voted against. But most of the times, it has been seen supporting Israel with respect to any resolution against Israel in the United Nations or elsewhere. But here, a new development we got to see is that United States abstained from this vote. So let us see what is the issue and why did USA abstain. Actually, as I said, that historically USA has given unconditional support or bipartisan support to Israel in managing its conflicts. But now this time, there are two reasons which are being analyzed by political analysts all across the world that this could probably be the reasons why USA abstained from voting. The first reason is related to the presidential elections in United States this year. How it is related to that? Because certain sections of societies in USA, they are in support of the Palestinians. And the government of the day definitely want their votes. So this step could have been taken, keeping in mind that section of the society. Second reason is that many Arab countries, some which are important partners to the US, are growing increasingly concerned at Israel's action. So, in order to manage USA's relations with those Arab friends which are in support of the Palestinians, USA might have taken this step. So, this is something which is being assessed. Now, does this mark a shift in USA's policy towards Israel? Actually, we cannot say that, because this was not the first time USA has abstained from voting on any issue related to Israel or Palestine. The Barack Obama administration in 2016 did that, and that resolution was with respect to Israel's settlements in Palestine as illegal settlements. On that, USA abstained. So it is not the first time USA is abstaining. So we cannot say that this is a pure shift of USA's position on Israel and Palestine. If you see, the number of times USA has supported Israel. So according to a think tank, Chicago Council on Global Affairs, until December 18, 2023, US had vetoed 45 resolutions. USA had vetoed 45 resolutions. Vetoing 45 resolutions means USA was going in support. Those resolutions were against Israel, and vetoing them means USA going in support of Israel. So this is the position. And again, we should understand that USA has abstained, not gone against Israel. So abstaining can be interpreted. Obviously, Israel will interpret that USA has gone against us. But yes, if you see, broadly, the position is in the center, not with Israel. Now, is the UNSC resolution binding? Again, this is very, very important, and you have to understand the nuances over here. Now, in general, United Nations General Assembly resolutions are in the nature of recommendations. UNGA, they are recommendations, and 2 resolutions have been adopted with respect to this Israel-Gaza conflict in UNGA. But since they are recommendatory in nature, though, it is not binding. But UNSC resolutions are normally seen as somewhat more prescriptive. Prescriptive means, kind of binding. But in what sense they are binding, we have to understand that. However, there is a difference between UNSC votes under Chapter 6 and Chapter 7. Chapter 7 votes are considered as binding. In any case, whether Chapter 6 or Chapter 7, options for enforcing a UNSC resolution are limited if the country in question refuses to accept it. The country in question here is Israel. If Israel refuses to accept this resolution of United Nations Security Council for a ceasefire, it can do that. And Israel has already done it. Now, what options does UNSC have? Since it is kind of prescriptive in nature, the resolutions over here, the UNSC can take the following steps despite Israel, refusing to accept it. If the UNSC wants to enforce its decision, which has been taken right now, on which USA abstained, it can decide to authorize travel bans on Israeli leaders, sanctions, or sending of troops. This is UN peacekeeping forces in Israel. So the vote is more of a political message, including in terms of US administration's current stance on the issue. So it is kind of binding, but it can be refused by the countries in question. And Israel has refused it. So what now UNSC can do? UNSC can take these steps. And this is the difference between resolutions passed in United Nations General Assembly and resolutions passed in United Nations Security Council. So it is like this. Now what will be the resolution's impact then? Actually, it is an important political message globally that USA has abstained. Multiple reasons why USA has abstained, which we've discussed. Now, is this resolution going to end the war? Sadly, no. It is not going to end the conflict. Now, as I said, that this attack, the October 7 attack, it is mentioned, is viewed as the largest single-day loss of Jewish life since the Holocaust. And it has left a deep impact on the Israeli psyche. And Israelis are after these people now. And they have said that they want to wipe off, they want to eliminate Hamas. And eliminating Hamas will act like a deterrence. And no such activity in future will be expected of this nature. But, this goal which Israel has set for itself to eliminate Hamas, it is overstated actually. The US, which is the world's most powerful country, was not able to wipe off Taliban and Al-Qaeda 20 years when they were deployed in Afghanistan. Will Israel be able to do that? It is a big, big question. There are certain kinds of statements which have come from the Israeli authorities that we are about to end Hamas and all. But, it is going to be difficult. It is going to complicate the things further. UNSC sadly does not have overarching powers to intervene and, put a complete or blanket ban on this particular conflict. There are certain ways in which UNSC resolutions are, binding, and those ways we have seen. Travel bans can be imposed, or United Nations can deploy peacekeeping forces over there, and such like. Sanctions can be imposed. So that needs to be understood. And the last topic for the day is C-VIGIL app. Now, As the name suggests, C stands for citizens. Vigil means, citizens should be more vigilant, citizens should be more aware. Vigilant or aware with respect to what? With respect to the political candidates violating the model code of conduct which is enforced right now. If the citizens see anything happening and that anything is violating the model code of conduct, they can click pictures, they can record videos, they can record audios and upload them on this particular app. An instant message is sent, a 100-minute timer or 100-minute countdown starts, and it is the responsibility of Election Commission of India and the election machinery to respond to those complaints. This is what the C-VIGIL app is. And since the announcement of the elections, 79,000 complaints have already been received on this C-VIGIL app. Means the citizens are becoming more and more vigilant. Over 99% complaints have been resolved, and close to 89% of these complaints have been resolved within 100 minutes. So it has kind of 89% success rate. 99%, I'm not saying because these complaints are resolved. I'm not saying because it is a feature that within 100 minutes complaints will be resolved. So only 89% were resolved within 100 minutes. So speed and transparency are cornerstones of this C-VIGIL app. Now, this Be a Vigilant Citizen, this is an image issued by Election Commission of India. They use the C-VIGIL app, the citizens, during elections. Now, report violations of model code of conduct, like liquor or drugs distribution is happening, firearms display is there, money distribution is happening, fake news is being circulated, voter transportation, free voter transportation is happening, or paid news is being run on any media, property defacement of any people are happening, freebies distribution is happening, intimidation of people or voters is happening, or communal hate speeches are being delivered. So if citizens find any of these, they can report on the C-VIGIL app. All these are, tantamount to violating the model code of conduct. So you don't have to go to any office of the election people. You can file it online. Now, how does this work? A trinity of factors working simultaneously makes C-VIGIL a success. What is it? You can capture audios, photos or videos in real time, and a 100-minute countdown starts as soon as you upload them on this app. The app automatically enables a geotagging feature. Geotagging is basically the place at which you are recording that audio or video, or you are clicking that picture. Automatically that app is enabled with such features that it will pick up your coordinates. That is called as geotagging. And there, in those coordinates, the people will rush. The election people who are responsible for conducting free and fair elections, the electoral machinery we call them, they will rush and respond to the queries over there. This means that flying squads could know the precise location of a reported violation, and the image captured by the citizens could be used as evidence in this court of law as well. Now, citizens can also report complaints anonymously. So these are certain remarkable features of this particular app. And since we all are educated, aware, and if we see any violations of the model code of conduct, you can use this C-VIGIL app to report such violations. It is being responded to. 99% of the complaints have been resolved. 89% of them have been resolved within 100 minutes. So that is something which is very much a big achievement, we can say. And with this, we finished the 3 topics. Now, as we've started with the MCQs, so let's deal with the MCQs. First is, which of the following statements are true about GEM? So GEM is not an end-to-end procurement platform. This is the first statement. It is a platform which the central government only can use to procure goods and services from the vendors. Simple statements. We've dealt with it. You can answer them easily. Match the following correctly. The first kind of question which I have included for match the following. Here are procurement platforms, CONEPS, GBIS, GEM, and the countries which have these platforms. So here you can say 1A is CONEPS of Singapore, if is GBIS of South Korea, or if GEM is of India. 3B. So like this you can match the following and choose the correct one. Now consider the following statements and mark the correct one. UNGA resolutions are prescriptive in nature. UNSC can deploy troops for implementing a ceasefire. We've discussed this if you remember. So mark this correct one. And consider the following statements and mark the correct one again. C-VIGIL app is part of our digital public infrastructure. Speedy redressal is the hallmark of this app. What is going to be the answer of this question? Very simple question it is. The C-VIGIL app can be used for which of the following purposes? There are 4 choices. Direct question it is. I hope to get correct inputs for all these 5 questions. So this is a I would say typing. This is question number 5, not 3. In the comment section, you have been mentioning answers, 2-3 of you. I encourage more people to answer those questions which we take up, and by the end of the day I put the answers, the correct answers over there, and the correct answers you will find also in the PDFs which are uploaded along the videos. So with this we come to an end of today's session. I will be meeting you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.